I found out first through a girlfriend of mine who was very keen and enthusiastic about the whole package, but then I was already familiar with it when our sixth child started school, Maggie, and
How
so
many have you got?
we have 7.
7, wonderful.
And so it's interesting seeing actually the difference between the older children when they're learning to read programs when they started school, and then when Maggie started coming home with her colour-coded words, which I was familiar with the product and the program, but to see her coming home having learnt her golden words, and then she'd come home and say, I'm up to red or blue, and the pride and just how enthusiastic she was, it was really wonderful to see. We played card games. What was interesting was we would play the card game starting with memory and the most easiest, but once we got onto more card games, almost like a rummy or a go fish style game, the older children would all come out of the woodworks and want to play too. So in fact it was a great way of getting the older kids involved in the younger kids reading program.
And to choose them.
I was kind of led by the child and where they were up to, so if they were on their golden words, we just kind of limited to that, or we might throw in the next colour up as a bit of a challenge, but mostly a lot of it started off with just reading recognition with the memory. But then I was largely led by where the child was at.
Fantastic.
The familiarisation with words that they had allowed them just to immediately go to the next level of reading, and so because they were already familiar with the words, comprehension and contextualisation came easly because they were very confident already. And again, comparing it to my older children who had the old see-spot run books and had to learn by rote or almost by looking at the pictures, for Maggie, she already had that up her sleeve. She didn't need to go through the basic levels. And interestingly, we have Mark, our youngest, starting prep this year, and so I'm really looking forward to him going through the same experiences again.
Yeah.
Look, I think it had a big effect. Again, it's very hard to compare child by child. We had some children who perhaps were slower to take off, but Maggie, who went through the magic words, Maggie, who worked with the magic words, was reading and writing, spelling. She was flying from the beginning.
Wow.
It's fantastic. I'd say it's well worth getting the product to back up at home what they're getting at school, and that it's a fantastic way just to supplement the reading with a bit of game playing at home, and for the child there's almost a seamless transition from the school to the home and what's happening in both places.